Greetings, Dr. Zanglin and classmates for joint planning. My name is Major Colleen McCarthy, and this is my operational approach. First, I want to start with my end state, which is stability and equal trade within the Middle East. Next are my four conditions. First is the Strait of Hormuz remains open. Next is land disputes on key islands are resolved. Third, BEOs do not have influence or strongholds within the region. And lastly, Iran's transparency and cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. Next, we're going to talk about the lines of operation and lines of effort to meet those conditions to get to our end state. The first line of operation is a defensive operation. We want to establish military advantage within the region, both with air superiority and ground. We would need the assistance of allies within the region, such as Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and also other UN countries that have interests. We want to counter Iran's A2AD capabilities, going after a center of gravity with them, taking each one out individually, which may take a little bit longer. If we're able to counter Iran's A2AD capabilities, we would make their threat powerless. Therefore, they would have no leg to stand on, and the Strait of Hormuz would remain open. Next would be a line of effort for fair oil trade. We place sanctions on aggressive countries within the region and enforce them. Those countries that are attacking other naval ships, other oil rigs, establishing military commands within the islands that are being disputed. We want to place sanctions on those countries and enforce them internationally. We also want to bring in international arbitration for the disputed islands. These islands have been disputed for years. If we could do this, we would help bring stability to the region. After we do that, we would also want a regional open waterway deal. So these countries that would then be established within these islands would also allow their neighboring countries to have open waterway passage to transport oil and also allow for fair oil trade within the region. Next would be a line of operation to stop terrorist activity within the region. We want to stop the financial support of BEOs, especially by the Iranian government. We want BEOs to lose popularity with the locals within the civilian communities. If we can do this, then the locals would not be supporting them financially with resources or personnel. This would lead to the BEO organization dismantling, starting from the leadership all the way down. Lastly, there would be a line of effort to stop nuclear weapon proliferation. Iran has several international sanctions against them, but we would want to enforce these international sanctions against them for their nuclear weapon proliferation and their refusal to cooperate with the International Atomic Energy Agency. They recently had elections within Iran, and so getting a new Iranian government in that is more of an international player and more transparent with what their nuclear proliferation programs are and what their end goal is for their nuclear programs, that would help to sign a nuclear deal. So getting a government in that's trying to be more cooperative, transparent, and more of a team player with international countries and sign a nuclear deal to help bring transparency and cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, which they have been a part of but haven't been fully cooperative with.